Okay, you're probably thinking, we haven't coded yet. And you're right. We needed to gather all of the elements. And now we're going to start coding. What we want to do though is we want to be able to get our sprites ready. So we're going to do something called creating costumes. This allows us to be able to adjust how our sprite looks. We can draw over top of it and create elements. And as well, there's a tricky way that I can add some movement by switching costumes. So I'm going to have you take a look at what this looks like. You probably noticed once I inserted my sprites, my puppy is way too big and my Santa maybe is a little too small. So I want to work on their costumes. I have to make sure that I have the correct sprite selected. So with my sprite selected, I'll also notice that it's kind of a bit of a shadow of it here, right there where I create my script. I'm going to come over here and click costumes. Now to change the whole size of my puppy, I'm just going to take my mouse, click and drag to select it all. And one of the things I can do is I can shrink this little puppy down so that it's a smaller puppy. And so I can still move this puppy around where I want on my Christmas card, but now it's a little bit more of an appropriate size. So you can see, oh, there I clicked on my puppy. Now I'm choosing my puppy's costume. There's my Santa costume. One thing that I like to do that is just a lot of fun is I can also make something move. Like for example, maybe I want this tail to wag. I'm going to go ahead and select the tail. Now, what I want to do is I want to come over here to where it says puppy on the left-hand side. I'm actually going to right click and duplicate it. So I'm going to leave my first puppy intact. My second puppy, I'm going to select the tail and notice that there's this little rotate thing. I can actually move around and rotate this puppy tail. See how I did that? Again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to right click, duplicate. I'm going to select that puppy tail again. And now I'm going to rotate it maybe back down a little. So it's going to look like I have a bit of a wagging tail effect that I can switch around, and this little puppy is going to have this little wagging tail. So play around with what that can look like. Try doing that. And I could do the same thing to my Santa. Maybe I want his arm to wave. I'm going to duplicate my Santa, select his arm. See if we can do a good little select here. And now I can tip it and make it wave. So I'll grab it, try not to get his little shoulder in there. I'm going to tip it, kind of have to trick it, move it over so it still looks like it's attached. And then again, I can duplicate it, select it, and rotate it even back. So this is just me playing around with a little bit of tricking my computer into thinking I'm waving just by look how I can click between these. I can click between all my costumes and now my Santa is waving. So if you want to add some motion, you can. Just note that there's also a paintbrush so you can color and draw, add shapes, whatever you want. Play around with those costumes. Pause the video here and make sure your sprites look how they want so we can start to make them move in the next video.